And today we have in the studio Greg Rice from Nexus Property Management. And we're going to talk about what to do during turnovers.
Yeah, Mary, thank you very much. Turnovers are the biggest expense that property owners will have to deal with. And it's something that a lot of people try to skimp and do as little as possible. And I'm sure you told me you own many properties, so you handled these as well.
I've handled turnovers. It's the worst of times.
It's a nightmare. It seems like a black hole. But what we've learned is that primarily what I want to talk about today is that you can't, you can, but you shouldn't, advertise occupied units for rent.
Why do you say that?
There are so many variables that happen when somebody's living there and you're trying to show it to a prospective tenant that you can't control. And if you can't control something and you're in charge of managing it, how do you deal with that?
Right. So a bad seed tenant might scare off a potentially good new tenant.
There's many, many examples. And the number one thing I tell folks is a simple story from Woonsocket. When Nexus opened, we advertised occupied units for rent. And we had a house, okay? The tenants were moving out on July 1st. We showed it at the end of May, beginning of June, and folks were lined up for July 2nd, okay? And they come to the office. They drove across country in a U-Haul. They're from Arizona. And they get their keys. They pay their first security. They go to the house. And guess what? The old tenants are still there.
They don't want to move. They don't want to leave.
Our place fell through. I'm sorry, but we have to stay. So, to all of you listeners out there that say, I show occupied properties, answer that question for me. And the truth is, you can't.
Well, I think that it becomes a liability, a financial one on the landlord. If one tenant doesn't vacate and you've already signed a lease to agree to lease a property or an apartment to the next tenant and you don't give them the keys, I'm pretty sure you have to put them up in suitable housing. It's an expense. And when you're already having to return deposits and clean out the apartment, and I'm sorry, nobody cleans an apartment except maybe me, to turn it back over as
Right.
if it was, their own property. It's very difficult to get tenants to do that because they're hustling out, they're trying to get to the next place, and they really, really want that deposit back.
Yeah, and back quickly to that story, what we had to do was exactly that. We put them in a hotel for 35 days, times $274 a day. So that was a
10 grand, yeah.
Easy.
Yep.
That was a $10,000 education we look at, and there's so many other things too. So my biggest piece of advice is don't show occupied
And that's sad
properties.
for that family because not only are they displaced, they have everything they own on a U-Haul that has to go into a storage unit now.
Right. Good thing
It's
it wasn't.
incredible.
Good thing it wasn't school season, or else
Right,
I feel
right.
terrible for the children.
Right, and if people are moving with pets, that creates a stress too. So some of the other things that I've seen is unexpected things like tenants move out in the winter in New England and they turn the heat off. Even if they mean it just to be, conserving energy, and then pipes burst and creating water problems in a building and having to fix it slows things down.
I love stories because they're the greatest teachers. A simple story just happened last week. A property owner in Providence who lives in New Jersey had a vacancy, okay, and it's been vacant for about 2 months now. And every time there's a vacancy, we tell our owners, sir, madam, please turn on the electric and gas, keep the heat on 60, just so we know that nothing's going to happen and, we can show it at nighttime, the lights are on, etc. The owner decided to save the $50 and turn the gas off.
Oh.
So what happened was the pipe burst on the second floor.
Of course it did. And water goes down.
Water goes down,
It
not
travels
up.
down.
And it doesn't go in pipes, okay? It goes down through the ceilings. And the whole house is a total loss. And what happened was, since he didn't turn on the utilities in his name, the insurance company won't cover it.
Oh, no.
And the double whammy is his policy said that he can't have a property vacant for more than 60 days, so he was double whacked.
That's
So
terrible.
keep on your oil, keep on your gas, keep the heat on 60. Don't be a cheapo because you're going to lose it.
And it's actually pretty easy now with National Grid. If you're a landlord and National Grid makes sure that you are the property owner, you have to fax them proof, and they will. There's a program, I want to say it's called Keep the Lights On,
Mm-hmm.
and you can list your buildings, the units, the meter numbers, and they will automatically, if somebody moves out and cuts the utilities, and I mean you have to respect that they're going to do that. Why are they going to pay for the heat and the electric if they're not there? But they cut the utilities, then they will automatically reestablish that account in the landlord's name. They've got a billing address to send it to so that you don't encounter these types of surprises. I mean, the only surprise that you could have is if somebody was disgruntled and kicked the heat up to 90 on their way out the
Right.
door. But, I mean, you should be, as a landlord, kind of doing a walkthrough and making sure that everything's in proper condition on the way out.
Right.
But if you have a property manager, you delegate that responsibility to
It's
somebody
simple.
like Greg, and it becomes very easy because we all have lives. We're all busy. The reason why people get into real estate is to generate passive income, and
Mm-hmm.
they can't always physically be there to
Mhm.
make sure that something is taken care of, like people moving in and out. And sometimes tenants will move out in the middle of the night, especially if they're
Right.
behind on rent. It's a middle of the night move, and you're not going to know about it for days.
Right. Right. So utilities don't show occupied properties. And then the third thing is the work that you do and the things that you do inside. People don't want furnished apartments. They don't. Forget about it. It's not 1970. You're not living in a vacation rental in Providence or Woonsocket. These people want an open apartment that's clean,
Mhm.
freshly painted, nothing on the floors. The fridge is clean, the stove is clean. Clean it out. No furnished apartments, okay? It's the worst thing in the world. People don't want your nasty couch or your bed bug bed.
Yeah, no, that's definitely
I'm telling
not.
you the
Yeah,
truth.
yeah.
These things happen. So
I don't even like going
No
into hotel
furnished.
rooms. Yeah.
Exactly. No furnishings. Keep it clean. Keep it
Mhm.
simple. Provide them laundry. Give them parking. It's very simple to own rental property. People make it so difficult. It's not reinventing the wheel. It's simple.
So, Greg, if our listeners, happen to be considering becoming a landlord or are, and they think that maybe it's time to hang up the responsibility of taking the call in the middle of the night and
Mhm.
doing the leasing and the clean outs, how can they get in touch with you?
I welcome you to check out two things. Number one, Google property manager in Rhode Island and see who comes up number one. And then number two is check out our website, nexri.com, and just take a look around. We're the only company that posts our prices. Every other company's got a secret. I don't know what it is. But our prices are there, so check it out.